Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new, you are highly welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, jazakallah khairan. In today's video, let's continue to talk about people Allah cast part 2, because in my previous video, I talked about unknown people Allah cast, including those who made us with boundaries, those who cross boundaries to take what does not belong to them. And in this video, the first person is the one who gives and accepts bribery when it comes to making a judgment. It is reported by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu that the Messenger of Allah curses those who offer and accepts bribes and accept bribes in a judgment. It is Sunan at-Tirmidhi 1336. This means whenever there is a judgment to be made, there are some people who gives bribery in order to access in making judgment. Is highly prohibited because nowadays not everyone in jail that is guilty. People go ahead to give bribe to police officers. These police officers they act in a favor of these rich people. They arrest the innocent one, they leave the guilty one. Because in my country or in some areas, you find that there is a big gap between people who are rich and people who are poor. That gap is extremely large. So you find that the rich people engages in this act of bribery, of giving and receiving bribery, and which is a bad act in Deen. So Muslims, you should avoid taking and receiving bribery, because the curse of Allah is upon an individual who takes and receives bribery. One person is the one who assumes the characteristics or the mannerism of the opposite gender. Like a woman acting like a man, dresses like a man, and vice versa. Whereby a man acts like a woman, dresses like a woman. In a hadith reported by Ibn Abbas, that Allah, the Messenger of Allah, cast men who imitate women and women who imitate men. It's Sahih Bukhari 6445. So women should avoid dressing like men and men should avoid dressing like women. So we have choices of living, but we have to at least follow the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to avoid the curse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Third person is a person who invents lies against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, someone who fabricates lies, because that person lacks knowledge. So he or she goes on telling lies about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we are not supposed to talk anything without knowledge. For example, if someone approaches you and say, "Hi Aisha, why are you not wearing hijab?" Don't say, "It's my choice. They don't like hijab where you work. You see the society I'm living in. You see it is summer. Moreover, it's my choice." And yet you know there is a verse in Quran, Allah commanding the believing women to put on her jalabibina. So please tell the truth that, okay, Islam is perfect. Me as a Muslim, I'm not perfect. And that's person. We should tell the truth that Islam is perfect. We Muslims, we are not perfect. We are not practicing Islam. So that people can understand that Islam is good, but Muslims, they don't practice Islam. Instead of talking lies against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we are human beings, we are not perfect. We sin day and night. But we should seek for forgiveness and have that time of our deen. We should look for knowledge. We should not run after sweet things of this world, because they are temporary. And that's why they say Jahannam, hell, will receive very many people than paradise, because people, they prefer dunya to hell. They prefer dunya to paradise. So please, let us practice our deen for the better. Allah cursed the hypocrites, the double-faced people. And these people, they pretend to be practicing religion, they pretend to be okay, but what is on their heart is not what they portray. They portray another picture. They pretend to be good, nice, knowledgeable, but their heart is extremely dark. And Allah casts hypocrites. And for them, when their flaws are exposed, they cry, they talk much, they argue much. And I tell you, time tells, they are exposed no matter what. And me, that's why I like people who come to me and say, you know, I don't like you, instead of pretending. When they go to the other group, they say something else. When they come to you, they talk a different story. And go and read Surah Al-Baqarah to know more about hypocrites. Allah casts a person who supports non-believers, a person who supports magicians, superstitions, idol worshippers. Read Quran chapter 64 verse 4. And shirk is a big sin. Allah casts a person who engages in shirk. And when you don't seek for forgiveness and you abandon shirk, you will be thrown in hellfire. And the first priority you should make friendship with is your fellow believer. We should love ourselves for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we should make dawah on those believers, the non-believers, instead of hating ourselves as believers. And another, lastly, Allah casts an individual who disobeys consistently. This person repeats the same sin. He commits zina at the age of 20, continues at the age of 30, at the age of 50. He kills, he utters vulgar words, he misbehaves, he disobeys parents, but he never and ever seeks for forgiveness and abandons these sins. Allah casts this individual. And sometimes these people who sin consistently, they boast, they call upon their friends to join them to sin. Because they have lost hope, they don't know that whenever they seek for forgiveness, Allah forgives them. Please let us seek for forgiveness, and we should stop sinning consistently. With that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.